You've seen the title, let's get straight into it. Alright, cool. So tip number 1 would be to focus on quality over quantity. Since you're short on time, you're not gonna have time to be doing too much volume. So 2 to 3 hard sets each for 5 to 8 exercises would be my recommendation, so that you can be in and out of the gym in 45 minutes to an hour max. However, since the volume is lower, you're gonna have to compensate for that with high effort sets. So for compound exercises, I'd recommend stopping shy or 1 to 3 reps shy of failure. Then for isolation exercises, stopping 0 to 1 reps from failure. If your life depended on it, you wouldn't be able to do any more reps, or you could only squeeze out 1 more rep. Here's an example. So for isolation exercises, this is what your last rep should look like. Then obviously for compounds, you can be a bit more conservative. But still, in general, approach your training with a progression-minded approach. Just because you're short on time doesn't mean that the basics don't apply. Progressive overload is still the name of the game. Obviously, if you're a beginner, you can get away with being a bit further from failure. However, if you're going in with a progression-minded approach, so trying to do extra reps with good form, or add a little bit more weight with good form, over time, if you're approaching training with progression in mind, then you will naturally reach that necessary threshold. Because within that threshold, that's when you're getting maximal muscle fiber recruitment anyway. So tip number 2, I'd recommend doing drop sets. Say if you really wanted to squeeze in more volume, but then you're short in time, you can use drop sets. So very simple. After your last main working set, you're gonna drop the weight by 10 to 20%. Then you're gonna perform as many reps as you can without any rest. So you go straight into that lighter set. And at this point, since you're already fatigued, that lighter weight should feel just as challenging. However, a common mistake with drop sets is that a lot of people will lighten the weight excessively and just do 20 half-hearted reps. That isn't really doing much. For your drop set, every single rep should be challenging. And this is a nice technique for quickly increasing the volume quite dramatically. I recommend doing this for example, your upper back movements or your lat movements. Since your upper back and your lats, they're quite resilient muscle groups and they can take quite a beating. So that might be something to consider for you to save time. Tip number 3, I'd say would be to use supersets and giant sets. Now they're almost the same thing. So supersets are when you do 2 exercises back to back without any rest in between them, and then you only rest once you've finished doing that pair of exercises. So my favorite type of superset to do is the antagonistic supersets, meaning that you're training muscle groups with opposing functions. So for example, that can be push and a pull. Incline dumbbell bench press straight into dumbbell rows is a great example. Or biceps and triceps. So flexing the arm and then extending the arm. And what's great about this is once you finish the first exercise, whilst that muscle group is resting, you're training another muscle group, and your muscle group is getting time to recover in between that. So that once you finish the first round of the supersets, you don't have to rest as long in between sets. So you could potentially double the amount of exercises that you can do in the same space of time. You can also fit together exercises which don't necessarily interfere with each other and that are convenient. So for example, you can do a leg press straight into leg press calf raises. Again, they don't interfere with each other, but it's convenient because you don't have to change places. You just have to adjust the weight slightly. And giant sets are the same thing. It's just anything with 3 or more exercises done back to back without any rest in between them. Supersets and giant sets can also help provide an uncomfortable reality check. If you find yourself out of breath, then that could be a signal to you that your work capacity and your conditioning needs a bit of work. And supersets will actually help with that. If you look at my training guide, Hench Head Start, you can get it from my website here. I do include a lot of supersets and giant sets for the reasons I just discussed. There's also some more information about training in general, how to structure your training. You'll learn how to build your own templates, learn how to coach yourself. There's also 90+ exercise tutorials, so if you're interested in that, go check it out. So tip number 4 I'd recommend is myo reps. So this is very simple. So you start off with the weight you can do maybe say 8 to 12 reps with, or even 12 to 15 reps for example. So you just do that for as many quality reps as you can. Then you're gonna rest 10 seconds. Then you're gonna do as many reps as you can again. Maybe you'll only get 3 to 5 reps. And you're gonna keep doing these mini sets with say 10 seconds of rest in between. So let's say on the first set you do 15 reps in total. Then you rest say 10 seconds. Then you get 5 reps on your first mini set. Rest 10 seconds, then you get 4, rest another 10 seconds, then you get 3. You've accumulated 15 plus 5, which is 20, plus 4, which is 24, plus 3, which is 27, which is the equivalent of doing say 3 sets of 9 reps. So within a short space of time, you've actually accumulated quite a bit of volume. Since that you're already fatigued, every rep is going to be recruiting the maximal amount of muscle fibers that you can. So this is an effective way of accumulating a sufficient amount of volume without necessarily having to wait in between sets, for example. And I'd limit this to isolation exercises. Don't be doing my reps with the squat, just don't. And I have put together a free 2-day per week program. Yes, just 2 days per week, that's all you need. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you and say that this is the best program ever and it's gonna be optimal. 2 days per week is not gonna be optimal, but if you're short on time, you can forget about being optimal. Just the best that you can be is gonna be good enough. And as long as you're consistent, you will see progress. And also the basics still apply. So progressive overload, making sure you're sleeping at least 7 hours per night and recovering, making sure you're consuming sufficient calories, consuming enough protein, and track your workout. Track your workout. Track your workout. Or you thought it was optional. No, track your workout. You can use your notes app on your phone, or if you can't be bothered to do that, I've also put together a little diary for you. I'm giving that away for free as well. If I can just ask a few things from you. Firstly, just like this video, make sure you're subscribed, and then you can message me on Instagram, sending me proof that you've liked this video and that you're subscribed to my channel as well, in the form of a screenshot, for example. And then I'll send you a digital copy of the diary to be able to log your progress. And this 2-day program, I've used all of the techniques I've spoken about in this video. That concludes the video. Hope you found that useful. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this with your people. In a bit.